You lie to yourself 200 times a day. That's not an insult, that's science. Every smile you fake, every "I'm fine" you say when you're dying inside, every time you nod along with opinions that make your soul scream, you're feeding the machine that's slowly killing who you really are. Right now, as you watch this, you're probably wearing a mask, not a physical one, the invisible one Jung warned us about, the one that's so perfectly fitted to your face that you've forgotten it's even there. You call it being professional, being polite, being normal. Jung called it the persona, and he knew it was a prison. Here's what terrifies me. Most people will die without ever taking that mask off. They'll live entire lifetimes as strangers to themselves, playing roles written by others, following scripts they never chose. The question that should haunt you tonight is this: when was the last time you were genuinely, brutally, unapologetically yourself? Not the version others expect, not the one that gets likes or approval, but the raw, unfiltered you that exists beneath all the performance? Because if you can't answer that question immediately, you're already lost in the fake world Jung warned us about. Jung discovered something that would make most people's blood run cold. We're all living as actors in a play we never auditioned for. He called it the persona, that carefully crafted mask we wear to survive in society. But here's the brutal truth he uncovered. This mask isn't just something you put on. It's something that slowly consumes you from the inside out. Think about your morning routine. You wake up, and within minutes, you're already putting on the performance. The way you text, the tone you use in meetings, the laugh you fake at jokes that aren't funny. Every single interaction is a lie wrapped in social acceptability. You've become so good at this performance that you've forgotten where the mask ends and you begin. But why do we do this? Because society has created a terrifying equation. Authenticity equals rejection. Show your real thoughts, your actual struggles, your genuine emotions, and watch how quickly people back away. We've built a world where being real is treated like a contagious disease. So we learn to smile when we're breaking, to say yes when every fiber of our being screams no, to become walking contradictions of our own souls. Jung saw this happening over a century ago, and it's only gotten worse. Social media has turned the persona into a 24/7 performance. We're not just lying to the people in front of us anymore. We're lying to hundreds, thousands of strangers who judge us based on curated fragments of fake perfection. The most terrifying part? Most people have worn their masks for so long that they've forgotten what their real face looks like underneath. They've become prisoners of their own performance, trapped in a character they created to please a world that will never be satisfied. The question that should shake you to your core is this: how much of your life is actually yours, and how much is just an elaborate show for an audience that doesn't even care about the real you? Here's the paradox that Jung understood, but most people refuse to face. The very thing that will set you free is the same thing that will make you suffer like hell. Being authentic isn't some Instagram quote about living your truth. It's a brutal, painful process that will strip away everything you thought you knew about yourself. Jung called it individuation, and he warned us, this journey isn't for the weak. When you start peeling away the layers of who you think you should be, you'll discover parts of yourself that terrify you. You'll find anger you've been suppressing, dreams you've been denying, truths you've been running from. The real you isn't always pretty, isn't always socially acceptable, isn't always what others want to see. But here's what makes it even more brutal. The world will punish you for it. Try being genuinely honest in your next conversation and watch people's faces change. Express an unpopular opinion based on your authentic beliefs and feel the social temperature drop. The moment you stop playing the game everyone else is playing, you become a threat to their comfortable illusions. This is why most people choose the mask. It's not because they're weak. It's because being real in a fake world is like walking through fire. Every authentic choice you make will cost you something. Relationships that were built on lies, opportunities that required you to compromise your soul, approval from people who only liked the version of you that didn't exist. If you've made it this far in this video, you're already showing more courage than most people ever will. You're willing to confront uncomfortable truths about yourself and the world around you. That deserves recognition. Hit that like button if you're ready to face the pain of authenticity, and subscribe, because this journey requires allies who understand the cost of being real. Jung knew something that modern psychology often misses. Growth isn't comfortable, truth isn't convenient, and freedom isn't free. The question you need to ask yourself is this: are you willing to endure the temporary pain of becoming who you really are? Or will you choose the permanent pain of remaining who you're not? Jung discovered something that will make your skin crawl. There's a collective shadow lurking in society, and it feeds on your inauthenticity like a parasite feeds on its host. This isn't some mystical concept. It's a brutal reality that's playing out right now. In every institution, every workplace, every social circle you're part of. Here's the terrifying truth. Fake systems need fake people to survive. Think about it. Would a corrupt corporation function if every employee was genuinely authentic? Would toxic relationships persist if people stopped pretending everything was fine? Would manipulative leaders maintain power if their followers refused to wear masks of compliance? Your inauthenticity isn't just hurting you. It's enabling a machine that crushes human potential. Every time you smile when you want to scream. Every time you agree when you want to rebel. Every time you conform when you want to create, you're feeding the collective shadow that Jung warned us about. You're giving your power to systems that profit from your disconnection from yourself. But here's what's even more sinister. Society has made mediocrity profitable. Average gets promoted, bland gets accepted, conformity gets rewarded. The nail that sticks out gets hammered down, so everyone learns to stay flat, stay safe, stay invisible. We've created a world where excellence is suspicious, authenticity is dangerous, and standing out is treated like a crime. Jung understood that this collective shadow doesn't just happen by accident. It's maintained by our collective cowardice. Every person who chooses the mask over the mirror, who chooses comfort over truth, who chooses fitting in over standing out, is casting a vote for a world that fears genuine human potential. The most disturbing part? Most people don't even realize they're complicit. They think they're just being practical or keeping the peace. But what they're really doing is participating in the systematic suppression of human authenticity. They're choosing to be cogs in a machine that turns souls into statistics. So ask yourself this: what kind of world are you voting for with your daily choices? Are you feeding the shadow that keeps everyone small, or are you starving it by daring to be real? Here's what Jung knew that terrifies every system built on control. One authentic person can shatter the illusions of thousands. You think authenticity is just a personal choice? You're wrong. It's an act of rebellion so powerful that it can topple entire structures built on lies. When you choose to be real in a fake world, you're not just changing your life, you're becoming a walking revolution. But this revolution doesn't start with protests or manifestos. It starts with something far more dangerous. The moment you stop asking, "What will they think?" and start asking, "What do I actually believe?" It's the moment you choose your own values over society's expectations, your own path over the well-worn trail everyone else is following. Jung called this individuation, but let's call it what it really is: psychological warfare against a system that needs you to stay small. Every time you speak your truth instead of telling people what they want to hear, you're firing a shot at the collective lie. Every time you pursue what genuinely fulfills you instead of what looks impressive on paper, you're dismantling the machine that turns humans into human resources. Here's the practical reality. Start small, but start somewhere. Stop saying fine when someone asks how you are if you're not fine. Stop laughing at jokes that aren't funny. Stop agreeing with opinions that make your soul recoil. These aren't minor adjustments. They're acts of defiance against a world that profits from your dishonesty. But here's where it gets really interesting. The moment you start living authentically, you give others permission to do the same. Your courage becomes contagious. Your refusal to play the game makes others question why they're still playing it. You become living proof that there's another way to exist. If this resonates with you, if you're ready to join this silent revolution, show your support by hitting that subscribe button. Because authentic people need to find each other in this fake world. And this channel is where we gather to remember who we really are. The question that should ignite something in you is this: what would happen if you stopped managing other people's comfort and started honoring your own truth? What would happen if you became the person you've been pretending not to be? This is it. The moment Jung knew would come for every person brave enough to hear this message. You're standing at a crossroads that will define not just your life, but your legacy. On one side lies the comfortable prison of pretense, safe, predictable, soul-crushing. On the other side lies the terrifying freedom of authenticity, uncertain, challenging, but alive with infinite possibility. Jung spent his entire life studying what happens to people who choose comfort over truth. He watched them wither from the inside out, becoming hollow shells of who they could have been. He saw brilliant minds dim themselves to fit in. Passionate hearts learn to beat quietly. Revolutionary spirits learn to whisper. He witnessed the slow suicide of human potential, one compromise at a time. But he also saw something else, something that should set your soul on fire. He saw what happens when someone chooses truth over comfort. He watched ordinary people become extraordinary simply by refusing to betray themselves. He witnessed the birth of individuals who changed the world not through grand gestures, but through the radical act of being genuinely, unapologetically themselves. Here's what I need you to understand. This isn't just about you anymore. Every day you choose authenticity. You're casting a vote for a world where others can do the same. Every time you refuse to wear the mask, you're giving someone else permission to take theirs off too. You're not just saving yourself. You're participating in the salvation of human authenticity itself. The brutal reality Jung discovered is this: most people will choose the comfortable lie over the uncomfortable truth. They'll die having never truly lived, having never risked being real, having never discovered who they actually were beneath all the performance. Don't let that be your story. If you've made it this far, you're already different. You're already part of the few who dare to question, who dare to feel, who dare to be real. Drop the word authentic in the comments below, not just as a word, but as a declaration of war against everything that wants to keep you small. Let it be your battle cry, your commitment, your promise to yourself and to everyone watching that you refuse to live as a stranger to your own soul. The choice is yours. But choose knowing this: the world doesn't need another copy. It needs the original you.